For more on this, I am now joined by Niagale Bagayoko, African Security Sector Network Chair. Hello, Niagale. Should we be concerned that a leader of Mali's coup is now heading a transitional council to civilian rule?
What is happening today, in fact, is that the transition is less civilian as was expected after ECOWAS has agreed to take off all the sanctions it had adopted after the coup in August. So now the new legislative body, the so-called CNT, Conseil National de Transition, is now headed by the number 2 of the junta, the CNSP, which has not been dissolved. Whilst it was one of the conditions which had been put forward by ECOWAS. And now we can see that we have a legislative body with a number of members whose affiliation is not clear at all, because some decrees had been adopted a few weeks ago, stating a number of military, of civilians, but no, it is very difficult to know how many military, how many civilians exactly we do have.
Exactly. Talking about probably more military figures, they dominate the interim government. Can we trust the process then?
The question at stake is that, in fact, you can see that the legislative body has a lot of military within it, but also in the government, you have a lot of them, and also in the administration, because last week were appointed also the governors of the different regions. And over 20 regions, you have 13 which have been to military to figures. So there is clearly a transition which is more military civilian than civilian military, I would say.
So what does that mean? Do you smell something fishy here? Can't we trust the process?
I don't think we only have to look at what is happening in terms of nominations. Of course, it is a matter of concern to have much more military than civilians leading the country. But it is also important to look at what kind of decisions are taken. Presently, for instance, we can see that there is an agreement between the Prime Minister, Mokhtar Wan, and the military, including Vice President Goïta, to go to make negotiations with some radical armed groups. And I think it is a very important point to take into account. But on the other side, you also have a lot of dissatisfaction with a lot of strikes, for instance, from a number of syndicates. Okay. So I think we still have to wait.
Okay, we'll be waiting for that. Briefly, how much support or not could this get from the regional body ECOWAS, or will they just stand by to see what happens next?
I think that ECOWAS will definitely have to take some position about the fact that the junta is still in place, it's not has been dissolved, and also about the fact that there is a lot of military which are presently appointed in the regions as well as in the legislative body, and also the condition which deputies have been appointed is also a matter of concern for ECOWAS, I think.
Okay, Niagale Bagayoko, African Security Sector Network Chair. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks.